Is your fashion sense being held hostage by religious beliefs? It's time to break free, my friend, from bondage and embrace your personal style. Join me in this video where I will show you how to test religious training against the scriptures and discover the truth about your spirit of beauty. Do not let these beliefs hold you back from expressing yourself through fashion, which is a gift. Learn how to be fabulous, fashionable, and faithful with my expert tips and step into the fullness of your spirit of beauty. So right out of the gate, it's important for us to understand the difference between religion and faith. And here's my take on it. In my experience of over half a century on this planet, my understanding, my opinion of religion is that it has nothing to do with faith. It's got nothing to do with God. It's got nothing to do with the Bible. Religion is the man-made list of all the boxes that we have to tick of what we must do, what we must wear, where we must go, how we must behave, what we must say, what we mustn't say, what we must do on Sundays. It's got everything to do with control, and it's rooted in fear. Faith, on the other hand, is about relationship and about trust for me. It's about my relationship with my Heavenly Father, with my Creator. It's about my self-esteem, which is my self-worth, my identity, understanding who He says I am. And it's about trust, trusting Him and trusting myself. And it has been my experience when these two get mixed up, when faith gets blindsided by religion, well, then our relationship with our Heavenly Father becomes severed and technical and less personal and less as it should be. And that's why I'm always saying we must stop outsourcing our faith to the guy reading the Bible on a Sunday. No offense toward him, he's probably a good guy, but you are relying on him to read, understand, and translate to you to apply that which you should be reading. We shouldn't be outsourcing our faith. We should be educating ourselves. You shouldn't be outsourcing your personal style. You should be learning the skill, because style is just a skill. So stick with me. I'm going to share some things with you. But when it comes to your faith, it's between you and your Creator. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. However, having said that, your faith is a representation of the light that is in you. Your faith and your trust and your belief in Him has inside of you a light that is called to arise and shine. So yes, it's a very private, personal thing. I've heard a lot of women say, but it's my business. It's like, yes, it is your business. However, you are designed to connect. You are designed for community and connection and conversation and congregation. You're designed for love, to love Him, be loved by Him, and love His people. That's what faith is all about, is trusting that which He said you are and who He made you to be, and getting up, dressing up, and being the bold light on a hill that you are called to be in this world. Here's my take on it. There are some really, really good men and women out there who are doing their best to share with the world the word and the truth, and that which if we are Christians, you may have a different faith, and thank you that we can learn from each other. I surround myself with people who are not the same as me, not in faith or color or culture or anything, because that's the only way that we can grow and learn, right? But there are good men and women out there who are doing good things. At the same time, those men and women are sometimes kept in their own mindset of what is right and wrong. They are rigid in what they believe is good and bad, and they are coaching and training and leading people, but I don't really see them much coaching and leading and training with other people who are more superior than them in their field, in their industry, in their specialty, which is the word. I see them teaching and leading and preaching, but listen, so the point being this, I am not anti-church, and I am not against people who preach from the Bible, but what I am is someone who is always learning and questioning and asking and wanting to grow and to get better and stronger and understand what my God says about the color red, about beauty, about my body, about my purpose, about my calling. That's really important, right? Yet I have sat in a church years ago, beautiful church full of beautiful people, and I've heard the pastor say, I don't know what the topic was, I don't know how it came up, but I heard him say, your body is just a shell. What matters is what's on the inside. It doesn't matter what you weigh. It doesn't matter what you look like. Beauty is on the inside. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right from what I have read. Doesn't sound right from the conversations I've had with my God. It just doesn't sound right. And it is just what it is. When I asked questions around this, I was shut down because this particular man, and yes, I've had to do a lot of forgiving. I'm sure he has as well. And I had a lot of questions, and for some reason, he wasn't happy with it, and he didn't like my questions, and he felt like I had too much to say and too much to ask and too much. I was just so hungry to understand, what does God say about my body, about my beauty, about red, about color, about fashion, about style, about modesty, and what does he have to say about that? And I was shut down all the time. It didn't help that in the same church for many years, and my God gave me a passion for fashion from a young age. I would get up, dress up as I always do, go to church on a Sunday, and be met with pretty much the same women, most of them elders' wives. And I would walk in, and inevitably they would say, "Uh-oh, here comes Linda, making us look bad again." Or it was, "Linda, this is church. It's not a fashion show, you know. So you're a little bit overdressed." Or I would walk in, and one particular woman said, "Linda, you clearly have too much time on your hands, because nobody looks that good this time of the morning." And I would face these comments all the time on Sunday mornings, to the point that about a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, a friend of mine came to me, a beautiful woman by the name of Nicola, and she said to me, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "So what do you mean?" So she said, "Come to my house for coffee, and let's have a chat." And she sat me down and she said, "You're not dressing the same. You're not speaking the same. I don't hear you anymore. You're in the back. You're like not involved." And I got tearful, and I said to her, "Nick, I'm just so sick and tired of facing this avalanche of mockery and of sarcasm every time I walk into the church." And I love these women. I know them. Some of them are my friends, and most of them are elders' wives, and they're the leadership of this church. I love dressing up because I love dressing up, because God gave me this passion. And anyway, she gave me a real good wrapping of the knuckles. So she said, "You ask God to give you help with how to respond to those comments and those quips when you walk in, and you get back to who you are. You get back to dressing up. You get back to loving fashion. You get back to your heels and worshiping and talking and praising and asking questions the way that you normally do." And so I did. And I asked him for a one-liner, and here's what he gave me. The next Sunday, when I walked in, true's nuts, there was the peanut gallery sitting on a couch having a coffee. And I walked in, and I got another comment, something like, "Uh-oh, making us look bad," or, "Oh, Linda, there's not a fashion show." I walked up to them, and with a smile on my face, I said to them, "You know what, guys? I don't dress up to dress anybody else down. I dress up because God gave me a passion for fashion. And if ever you want to go shopping or talk fashion or personal style, hey, you know where to find me." And I walked off, and I went and did my thing on that Sunday morning. Well, I got 3 messages that same day. "Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I've been gossiping about you. I just don't know how to do it. And you made me feel bad." I'm like, "Actually, no. The truth is I had nothing to do with you looking the way that you do and feeling the way that you do. That is the truth." But then I got a message also from a friend who I loved. And she actually came for coffee with tears in her eyes. And she said, "Please forgive me. I have been gossiping about you for a long time, agreeing with you and laughing about you when the other women were also mocking you for how you dressed. And it all has come out of jealousy. It all has come out of envy because I don't know how to do it." And I said to her, "Why don't you just ask me? Why don't you just say, 'Hey, can you show me some stuff? Hey, can you come shopping with me?'" So church can be a powerful training ground for getting rid of the fear of man. Because I actually left that church after a while. I was so hurt, and I felt that I wasn't in a safe place. And the pastor made it very, very clear that he wasn't going to answer my questions, and just thought that I was a loud mouth. And I was outspoken. I was so desperate to be heard. I had questions. I didn't understand so much, but I was desperate to learn. I was desperate to grow in my relationship with him. And then God said to me, "Go back to that church." And he sent me back, and I went back, and it was so good. That was training ground for me to learn that people are just people. And probably most of them, not all, but most of them are doing the best that they can. And everybody makes mistakes, and everybody hurt people. We've all been hurt, and we've all hurt women, right? Especially women. And so I went back with a renewed sense of vision, a renewed mindset, and it was an incredible next few years of training, of looking, of understanding, of having a different perspective, and knowing that God expected and needed me to read the scriptures and not just listen to what this guy had to say on a Sunday morning. And that's where things changed, is I started reading about fashion and about color and about texture and about style from the scriptures. And it's mind-blowing. There is powerful, beautiful, incredible evidence that he doesn't just care about what we wear. He is, in fact, very specific about the call to action on how we should present ourselves as women in the world. So as I dive deep into the scriptures, well, you know all of these probably and more. What does it say about me and my body and my beauty? It says I'm a set-apart nation. It says I'm a royal priesthood. It says I'm a king in the marketplace. It says in Psalms I am majestic and splendid. It says I'm the apple of his eye. It says I am beautiful. It says do all things as unto him, right? Not except the way you dress. Do all things. Never be lacking in zeal. Never be lacking in passion. And doesn't it say the righteous are as bold as a lion?